In this video, I will explain how to write an agree-disagree essay for IELTS, and mostly my focus will be on task response, that how you can get 8 plus in task response. An example which is written by a candidate will be provided for you, and I will analyze that person's writing and find out and see that the comments given by the examiner, how he got or how she got that is scored there. So first, for the task response, as you can see, the topic should be very well addressed if you want to get a high score. That really depends on your knowledge and the examples that you can provide in the whole essay. Your position should be clear throughout. That is also very important. It doesn't say to express your position only in the introduction. It is not right. You have to show your position throughout your whole essay, in the introduction, in all paragraphs, and conclusion. The other positive points of this writing is that the main ideas are presented and well supported, ideas which were mentioned by the candidate. However, there is an Achilles heel which caused a problem for this candidate, and that is a kind of overgeneralization in the penultimate paragraph that I will explain more for you. First, the topic that I'm going to talk about, we had it previously. I had in previous videos. That was about uh, children who are brought up in families that do not have large amounts of money are better prepared to deal with the problems of adult life than children brought up by wealthy parents. If you remember, I had this introduction for you, and I explained how to write a good introduction. And here we are going to actually talk about it more and explain more how to make a good writing, not just an introduction. Just to share the ideas here. Okay. As you can see first, the examiner comment is that the topic is very well addressed and the position is clear throughout. Main ideas are presented and well supported, apart from some overgeneralization in the penultimate paragraph. So these two sentences are going to show how the task is written. Is it well supported or not? Are the ideas well presented? And stuff like that. For agree disagree essays, uh, actually the best answer is that you shouldn't just say agree or you shouldn't just say disagree, even if you're going to focus on one part or one side of the argument, that is if you agree completely or if you disagree completely. It is important to consider the other side and to refute or have some examples or as even a sentence or a kind of solution to penultimate that idea, to refute that idea. And finally, you are going actually to change the direction to the side of the argument that you believe is correct. Maybe you agree or maybe you disagree. So I will start here. Previously, we had it. It says that the introduction was not good. It was just a copy. And that was actually one of the negative points mentioned for it. It caused a penalty for the candidate who had written it. I just start from the first paragraph. The first paragraph is provided uh, with examples and actually some sentences that is going to show that children who are in families with poor parents uh, will have a better future, or will have actually better situations or conditions, or will be well prepared in the future compared to those who are from well-off families. So the first paragraph showing the agreement of the writer is children of poor parents are prematurely exposed to the problems of adult life. For example, learning to survive on a low family income and sacrificing luxuries for essential items. So as you can see here, it is actually a kind of opinion that they are exposed to the problems of adult life. That is a kind of let's say position mentioned here, and it needs it to be supported. For supporting this position, two examples are mentioned. One of them, learning to survive on a low family income, and sacrificing luxuries for essential items. So the support for the first opinion. The only problem is that example that is written here as e.g., it is actually the shortened form, and in writing it is not allowed to do it because you are supposed to consider the formal style of writing. These children, now we need to support that idea that how they are better prepared for the future. These children, um, let me just explain. These children begin to see the realities of life in their home or social environment. So again, it is a support for the previous sentence. Their parents' own struggles serve as an example to them. So all the main idea of the paragraph is actually revolving around the idea that these types of children, due to the problems that they face in their parent life, they will just look at their parents, set them as examples, and after that they try to use their experience not to face these difficulties in the future, or at least they know how to tackle these types of problems. Second paragraph, these children are taught necessary skills for survival as an adult from a very early age. So the second position, in support of agreement with the introduction, they learn necessary skills in these families. So first paragraph showing agreement. Second paragraph is also to show agreement. Many children, again, as you see here, e.g., that's not a good actually job which is done here. It need to be actually, for instance, or for example, a work in the let's say weekends or holidays to either collect some pocket money or even contribute to their family's income. A good example is the many children who accompany their parents to sell produce at the market. So as we see, because in the previous sentence said, these children contribute to their family's income or they work in the weekends or holidays. And we need an example for what is mentioned here as a position of the writer, that is sharing to the family's income or contributing to the family's income. Just to support that opinion mentioned there, a good example is provided. Like those children who accompany their parents to sell produce at the market. That is mostly for farm products, which is mentioned here. Uh, Now, how does it help to them for previous sentence? Because it is going actually to show that you can see the ease of ideas, how they are easily supported. They are making a direct contribution to their families in terms of labor or income. So you can see in terms of labor or income. So it means that maybe just help to for some work to be done, or even for the money which can be part of the earning of the family. So we up to now we've had two paragraphs, and in both paragraphs, two main opinions were supported to show agreement of the candidate with the introduction that he agrees with the prompt. Children of poor families also are highly motivated. So they are highly motivated. It is actually another actual reason, another opinion to agree. They are highly motivated. Third reason, third reason to show. Uh, there were two reasons. There were two paragraphs, and they could be enough. But it wants to show that this candidate had enough opinions to support enough reasons, and finally to say that main ideas are well supported. That is very important. And the topic is well addressed. How? Using three different paragraphs with three different main reasons. After that, the examples you witnessed, which were mentioned and used by the writer, they tend to set high goals to improve their economic social situation. As you can see here, just because the candidate had forgotten to write economic and social, after that just added this symbol and on the top written economic or social. A relevant example, as you can see, for what? For being highly motivated, or they set high goals. Now it's going to give you a relevant examples for those types of children in poor families who set high goals to improve their social. Would be Mr. Bill Gates, an example, and in parentheses, founder of Microsoft Corporation. He had an impoverished background, but he used his talent and motivation to set up the world's largest computer organization. Okay, up to now, we believe that the writer had three main arguments which support an example to show that his position from the beginning is that yes, he agrees. But as I said, it is very important to show for the other side of the argument, I mean, for disagreement. And after that, because this writer is going to say that he agrees, he must refute. So we're going to consider the opposite side in the last paragraph, which is the penultimate paragraph before conclusion. We are supposed to express the opposite opinion, but after that, you need to refute it. That is important. So it is very important to look at this fourth paragraph. That is the penultimate paragraph, and it is one of the most important paragraphs that help to get 8 plus in your task response. It is very important. However, using however is important because in the three paragraphs prior to this paragraph, all of them were supposed to agree. But this one, however, which is a cohesive device, a very important cohesive device, is a sign of opposite opinion. There are some problems that children from poor backgrounds do encounter. Okay, so as you see, now the tables turn. Many of these children who are robbed of their childhood, so again, you can see example, for example, while working, many feel cheated. They often turn to crime. Is okay. Up to here we can see the opposite opinion, that what will happen to these type of children from a poor background or from poor families or impoverished families. They will have some problems, but the problem again here is that mentioning this idea, it is a kind of overgeneralization. There is not enough support, there is not enough example, we don't have enough examples for it, and the support is not enough. That is why the examiner comment says it is overgeneralization. And it was overgeneralized because it couldn't provide, let's say, more sentences, at least one more sentence, and I give an example here that how it happens. Okay, up to now, it is a kind of disagreement in this paragraph, but it is very important in this last sentence. This, however, is a small group. This is very important, this last sentence, because it's going to change the opinion again. It's going to say that the number of children who are in this situation or will have this problem in the future is very small. And that is very important. If the writer doesn't mention this last sentence, there would be a kind of a mess in the writing because the writer was in the first three paragraphs agreeing with the opinion, suddenly disagrees and doesn't penultimate and doesn't refute it. So this is a kind of, let's say, a small sentence, but just mentioning that for a small group of people, or it can be even a solution. So for this sentence, everything is okay, but the only problem for this penultimate paragraph that I mentioned, penultimate paragraph, was that it is overgeneralized. No, no, not any other problem. And in summing up, children with impoverished backgrounds are able to deal with problems of adult life because of early exposure, family role models, and sheer motivation. A very good conclusion and summary, as you can see. Three reasons were mentioned in three paragraphs to support agreement. Deal with problems of adult life because of early exposure. It was mentioned in first paragraph. That is that it is a kind of heading for the first paragraph. I mean, for the not for introduction. I mean, the paragraph that's showing agreement. Early exposure to problems. Family role models. That in that paragraph just said the family serve as example for them, and sheer motivation, that was the last reason, the third paragraph for it. So in summary, also you're supposed to mention your opinion again, but you're not supposed to copy it. You are supposed to use different words, or you can use some expressions that can show it is a kind of summary, and just paraphrase it, but main opinion should be here. Okay, now when we read the examiner's comment, that's a band 8, the topic is very well addressed, as you saw yourself. Yeah, the topic for agree or disagree with the poem, with three reasons for agreement. One paragraph was written for some of these children who may face problems in the future, but it was a penultimate paragraph and refuted. It was well addressed. The position is clear throughout, from the beginning to the end. In each paragraph, you can see that writer believes in agreement with this statement. That is why we say position is clear. It is very important if you want to get a high score in your writing. But as I said, the only problem for task response is over generalization in the penultimate paragraph that I said it was better actually to narrow down with some examples. I hope this is helpful for you. In other videos that I will have in the future, I will explain more about cohesion and coherence, about vocabulary, and about grammar and structure, that how you can get a high score in writing